Hi, this is Lady Lex UK. I've been asked a few times, how do I make a character sculpt? And because the early access tutorials have different menu systems, then it is getting a bit confusing for people. So here is how you make a character sculpt. You start off in your dream space. You press the options button. You have a choice of either going to dream shaping or your creations. I'm going to suggest you go to your profile, go to my creations, press start fresh, and then to create a character you go to new element or scene, delete the floor, go to gadgets, open up gameplay gear, put down a blank puppet deluxe, put it in the center of the floor like so. Now you want to sculpt on your puppet. You scope in, so that's L1 and X, L1 and cross, whatever you want to call it. And this is how you scope in on a particular part of the body. So I'm going to scope in to the belly there, and I'm going to put blend tool on so you can see which piece. Oh no, I'm still in the pelvis. So there we go. That's how I would alter the pelvis. And if I scope into the belly area, there we go, that's how I can sculpt that area. And there we go, I can put chest in there. There we are. You can make a fat guy really quickly. Make sure that you are scoping into the correct piece. There we are. And that you easily start making your character as you want it. You can test out, go to play mode, test out your character, make sure all your pieces are actually on the body parts and not wobbling about, and you can run around and test all of your design out. There we go. As you can see, those legs have not been sculpting correctly, so they are floating out. So that gives me an idea. I have to redo those legs because I didn't scope into the bottom of the legs correctly when I did that, and so now it's just the tops of the legs, and you can see the legs are running out of it. Right, so when you go back into edit mode, you may find that your character is nowhere near the center of the floor anymore. Remember to press down on the left joystick, and that will place him right back to the center. If you were to save your character over there, that would mean that when somebody went to stamp your character in the world, they wouldn't be able to find it because it would be miles away from the imp, which is always going to be in the center. Right, so let's have a look at what I've done here. So these pieces, as you can see, they're attached to this part and not this part. So I'd need to scope into the correct. I still haven't. There we go. So make sure that you get the right pieces when you're scoping in and sculpting. So there you go. There's your character model. Now to save it, you press the options button. You go to quick save, and you want to save it as an element. It's not a scene. And you want to choose character. It gives you blank puppet deluxe as the default name. You probably want to delete that, put your own character name in it. There we go, like so. And then exit creation. And now you can see I've created it. This is just local, it isn't in the Dreamweaverse. If you want to launch it to the Dreamweaverse, you can then press this release button here and release it as either a private item, which means only you can see it and anybody that you've listed as a collaborator, or as a public. Now here you can see I've only got the option for public. If I go into edit, options, save version, I get the option for local, private and public. There's no such thing as a playable character, so you cannot launch it to the Dreamweaverse as anything other than public. If you've got a character that you want to show to people, but you do not want it to be public, and you don't want it to be just a few people. You want everybody to see it, but you don't want it to be public and remixable, then what you need to do is create a scene. Put your puppet in. Save as a scene. Doesn't really matter what I'm going to call it. You call it whatever you want to call it. Now, save version. Local, private, save and release. And then you've got a choice of playable or public. Playable means they can see it, but they can't remix it. Public means it's public. So if you release it as playable, then it's going to say you've got an object in there that is saved only locally. So here you can save it as a private thing, or you can save it as a public thing and an unlisted thing. So it's two choices. You can either have it up there as a private thing or an unlisted public thing. Either way, when it's not actually in the feeds as a scene, like as an element, it will be in there as a scene. So that's something to be aware of. So there we go. So now I've got a scene. Now I've created these things and I don't really want them. So to delete them, you can only delete local saves. If you put them up into the Dreamweaverse, so you cannot do this. But if you delete the local saves, I can select that. Now you'll notice this one has got a little triangle over it. That is because I've put it in a scene. And so if I delete that, I've got to delete the scene as well. If I delete the scene, that's fine. That can stay put. It's very awkward and annoying, but that's the way it is. So I want to delete these three things. So I've selected them and then press the green button. Then it says, are you sure you want to delete these? So there's no accidental deleting going on. You have to do quite a few processes. So yes, and now they've gone forever. So I hope that's explained a few things for people that are a little confused. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in your dreams.